Okay guys, we are on lesson 9-3 and this one is called Use Multiplication to Divide. So for our solve and share, it starts with a sandwich shop prepares large wraps and cuts them into fourths. Each fourth is one serving. William buys 5 whole wraps for a party. How many servings in all does he get? Solve this problem any way you choose. And again, it tells us that we can model with math. How could fraction strips, bar diagrams, or other models help you visualize the problem? So if he's buying 5 wraps, and they're telling us that a serving is a quarter, that's telling us that we can cut the wraps into, obviously, quarters or 4 pieces. So if I do this as a visual, and I cut each of the wraps into 4 pieces, what we're doing is we're taking the 5 wholes and we're dividing them into quarters. So when we see the divided, we can also think about it as into. So I'm saying 5 into quarter pieces. So if I end up cutting each of them into a quarter piece or quarters, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces per wrap. So another way to model this division sentence is for me to think about it in terms of multiplication. So what did I just do right now? I had my 5 wraps, right? And I cut each into 4 pieces, so I made 4 pieces per wrap. So 5 wraps at 4 pieces per wrap, I end up with 20 servings. So if I go back to my division sentence here, we're thinking about ways that I can figure out how to solve my division using another method, which obviously I just did multiplication. But if you look at it, remember when we did multiplication, we added a little 1 down here and we just multiplied across. If you look at this division problem, think about what you actually just did then to get this. So when I'm doing division, one of the things that I actually do to divide is I flip my fraction over. So if I take the 1/4 and I flip it over, and I do 4 over 1, by cutting them into quarter pieces, I'm cutting them into 4 pieces, right? So when my problem now looks like this, all I need to do is, because I did an inverse of the fraction, I'm now going to do an inverse operation. An inverse means opposite. So now I'm going to turn that to a multiplication problem. Remember, I can just put a little 1 down there. So it's 5 times 4 is 20, which is exactly what I did here. And then 1 times 1 is 1. 20 over 1 is 20. So yes, I can do it by drawing out a picture, just like I can with most of the things that we have done. But I can also turn my division number model into strict multiplication whole numbers without the fraction. But then I can also flip over my fraction and do multiplication across and then just simplify. So that's one way that I can solve the problem. This is another way I can solve the problem, and this is another way I can solve the problem. Regardless of how I do it, my answer comes out to 20 servings. Okay, if we take a look down at the look back, it said write an equation that represents the problem about the wraps. Well, we already did that as we were solving the actual problem. Here's an equation that I could write. 5 times 4 equals 20. Okay, our other equation, I just flipped it, but we can also do 5 divided by 1/4, which also equals 20. Okay, so that was the solve and share and the look back for lesson 9-3.